How many of you here, I want to get a little bit of a kind of temperature of the room. And by the way, these events are free. We provide free lunch. They've always been free. I don't monetize them. It's my way to give back to a vehicle, apartment investing, that's been very good for me and very good for many of you that I know in the room, many of you who have invested with me in my projects successfully. So it's a way to give back, to teach people about this vehicle and how you can use it to build wealth and create financial comfort, security, and freedom in your lives. And there's a real sense of community. As I said earlier, for those that were here about noon, it's a relationship-based business. And coming to events like this, it's a great place to get to know other investors. So no matter where you come in on the spectrum today, whether you're brand new, you don't know the first thing about apartment investing, this is the first apartment investing meetup you've ever been to, and you just kind of want to learn what it's all about. I'm sure that that's some of you. How many of you that is the case, that you're pretty much brand new? Okay, I see a few people. How many people here are already actively as maybe a sponsor or perhaps as a passive investor investing in apartment investing, or have done so in the past? Okay, so for all you new people, you don't just have to listen to the guy up here and Brandon, our guest speaker that's going to come up. When the event ends about 2 o'clock, we have the room till 3 o'clock. So talk to some of these people. They'll share with you, which I'm going to share my story and give you some real world results, but talk to these people that have invested in deals and learn about the kinds of returns that they've seen. Many of the people that I see here have been investing with me or just in general in multifamily for many years. So by talking to these people, you're going to get the real world stories. And I think everybody that's known me for years knows that I'm real. What you see is what you get. There's not fluff. I'm not going to build up. I'm not going to overemphasize or exaggerate or embellish anything. I'm going to give you the straight, real truth, and that's kind of how I've built my brand and I think my reputation. I've been doing this for 12 years, and I'm going to go a little bit more into my story, but wanted to kind of put some of that out as an intro. So let me tell you so I'm going to tell you a little bit about me today, and then we're going to bring up Brandon. And he's going to have a few different segments. He's going to be talking about CapEx, capital expenditures. Basically, when we come in on these projects, these apartment investing projects, our goal is to come in, cure any deferred maintenance that might be there, but oftentimes we're going to implement capital expenditure products that are going to or avenues that are going to help us increase the value of the property, improve these properties for our residents, thereby driving the value of the property. And then in the end, we have a capital event where we're able to realize this value that we've added to the property, oftentimes multi-millions of dollars. And typically we hold these projects for about 3 to 5 years. So the CapEx portion of the project is huge, and Brandon's going to tell you so much about it that I'm not going to tell you anymore. And he's going to have a couple of segments on that. Now, typically, for those that have been to my events in the past, I ask you if you have any questions to write them down or hold them in your head until the end, and there's a Q&A segment at the end. But Brandon's presentation today is going to be so detailed and so informative that we don't want to let too much time go by and have too many questions build up to where, or maybe he gets a bit ahead and there's something, especially for maybe some of the newer people, that you didn't understand. So after each segment, we're going to stop and we're going to have the opportunity for you to ask any questions that you might have. So if you could write them down or just hold them in your head, it won't be too long before you have an opportunity to ask questions. So without any further ado, I'll introduce myself, and then we'll bring Brandon up, and we'll go through, and as I said, we'll have some Q&A. And then at the end, there's also, some of you might have seen when you sat down, a flyer that has a QR code on it. That is an invitation to the AIM NatCon 2023. It's the best apartment investing national conference in the country. And for those of us that are here in Dallas-Fort Worth, we're blessed to have it right here in our own backyard. It's going to be right here in Dallas, Texas, at the Omni Hotel downtown at the end of August. And I'm going to give you a special price that's available through that QR link that gives you the opportunity that if you went to the main site, you wouldn't be able to get, which is a buy one, get one free option for general admission for anybody that wants to come.
That's only good through midnight tonight.
Okay. Well, they're telling us it's only good through midnight tonight.
Yeah, they've been running that for a while, so they're getting ready.
The buy one, get one free? Okay, I didn't even know that. So some genuine urgency is created. So if you like what you hear today and you're like, hey, I'd like to learn more about this apartment investing, the buy one, get one free option for the entire 3 days is at $299. So you can bring a spouse, business partner, friend for $299. Then you can split the cost, $150 each, through tonight at midnight, as Sean says. So you'll want to link through that QR code, and you can get that special pricing. If you just link through their website, it would be $50 more, and you wouldn't have the buy one, get one free option that you're going to have through midnight tonight. There's also a VIP Platinum option, which is the best seating in the room, and there's some other special perks that you can have advantages of and special lunches. Oh, and by the way, how many people ever read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Okay, that's a tremendously influential book in my own life and in the lives of most successful real estate entrepreneurs I know. They've announced a few of the guest speakers. One of them, and this is in person, by the way, this is Robert Kiyosaki is going to actually be in the room in Dallas, August 25th, 27th. Tom Wheelwright, some of you might be familiar, wrote the book Tax-Free Wealth, How You Can Save Money on Taxes using real estate investing as a vehicle, and who doesn't want to do that? And some other tremendously great speakers that you'll want to be in attendance to hear. So we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end, but just know you can go through the QR code through midnight tonight and get those special prices. Sean has a little more information.
Correction, it's Sunday at midnight.
Sunday at midnight.
Yeah, I was checking.
Okay, you have one more day after today. But if you like what you hear, you want to learn more about apartment investing, we're only scratching the surface, obviously, here in about 90 minutes. Brad Sumrock has been my mentor since 2011 when I met him. It's his event. He's been a successful apartment investor going back to 2002 for 21 years now. He and his wife Jen, who's also pictured on the flyer there, have a real passion for introducing this vehicle to people so that they can enjoy the benefits as we have in our own lives. And at this event, I think that passion will come through. He brings in, as I said, amazing guest speakers. He does this same NatCon once annually. To bring in a guy like Robert Kiyosaki is super high dollars. So Brad invests in this event to give to you. Makes it available, especially through the link that I told you about, at a very low cost because he wants to see people come in and get the benefits of apartment investing. So without any further ado, we won't talk more about that. I'll share a little bit about me. My name's Aaron Katz. I grew up on the East Coast in the Washington, D.C. area, the son of a Russian immigrant father that came to the United States, dirt poor, when he was 14. And him and my grandparents built businesses, had times of struggle, and my grandfather started working as a janitor in Marshall Fields, which was a department store in the Chicagoland area. My grandparents eventually started a formal wear, like tuxedo rentals, and a dry cleaning business. And my father had a few businesses, just saw early on that he wanted to be his own boss, and saw that as the avenue to success after working sales jobs and working 7 days a week when I was young. So I didn't see him too often. I was with my mom, and he realized that, hey, eventually I want to find a different way. So he saw the entrepreneurial path, the American dream, and I can proud to say that, that American dream is still alive. Him and my grandparents achieved it, and so I grew up with that entrepreneurial spirit in me, and have largely been outside of a couple forays kind of back into the employment world, have since my early 20s largely just kind of followed the entrepreneurial path. And I came in and found the vehicle of apartment investing through being a voracious reader, reading books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and hundreds of others. And back in 2010, decided I wanted to come into this industry. I wanted to find a mentor that could teach me what they had done successfully so that I could follow that model. And if I followed that model and did what my mentor had done, that I could also achieve similar success. And in 2011, I came across the gentleman I told you about, Brad Sumrock, got plugged in with him, began learning from him. And in 2012, I did my first apartment deal. It was a 90-unit apartment community here in Arlington, Texas. And I raised, what did I raise for that deal? It was $1 million and some dollars. It was my first deal from investors that I had met at events like this, told them about my vision. Hey, I'm invested, I'm learning, and I'm going to do a deal like this. And when I find it, are you interested in potentially investing in me? I got to know them on a personal level and was able to do that first deal. Now, before I go further and tell you about what else I've done, some of you that are coming in for the first time, want to give you just a quick bit of information on the structure of the types of deals that we do. These tend to be group purchases of larger apartment communities. And in these projects, there's usually one or oftentimes several people that are the general partners in the deal that are essentially doing all the work before we even bring the deal to potential investors. That's finding the deal, analyzing the deal, touring the deal, offering on the deal, going through the contract process, working through the due diligence and CapEx process with specialists, etc., and then hopefully being awarded the property. And often these are multiple offer situations, so you have to have generally somebody on your team that has experience to win these type of lucrative apartment deals, especially in a top apartment investing market like Dallas-Fort Worth happens to be. And just about all of my projects, sans one, which I'm going to tell you about in a minute, have been in DFW on the general partner side. I had one in Houston as well. So the general partners do all the work. And then typically once we get through due diligence and we make sure that we're going to be proceeding with the project, then we make it available to potential passive investors. And these are people whom we've met, sometimes at events just like this, that we've built an SEC compliant relationship with, that we're then able to offer the project to and raise money for. And these tend to be something, we don't need to get into technicalities, but 506B syndications where we're able to accept both accredited and non-accredited yet sophisticated investors into the project. Sometimes the syndications are 506C, where it means we can only accept accredited investors. But just about every deal, in fact, every deal that I've done has been a 506B. So I've had people come into my deals for as low as $10,000, and then some people have invested. Typically the investment amounts more often than not are 50, 75, 100, but then I've had people invest, upwards of over $500,000 into my projects as well, and that depends upon what anybody's financial situation might be. But the point is that apartment investing is available to just about everybody. And it tends to be very lucrative. So these are the types of projects that we do. None of us typically are able to buy these projects on our own. So we do these large group purchases with a few GPs, and then typically maybe 30, 60, 100 passive investors. We pool our money to buy these apartment communities. The GPs have a business plan and a vision for the property that if you invested as a passive investor, that you bought into at project onset because you liked the story that the general partners had put together and you believed in them and you believed in their plan for the property. And then we all enjoy the benefits of owning these properties thereof. And the benefits tend to be cash flow that we enjoy during our ownership periods. And then because we come in and often add value, largely also through increasing rents, but capital expenditure projects like Brandon's going to talk about. We then enjoy capital gains, which we realize at the point of sale or refinance. And then there also are great tax advantages available through investing in real estate. And those tend to differ for different people based on their situations. I always tell people just to talk to their CPA and to find one that actually understands the advantages of real estate investing, because a lot of CPAs kind of know the basics, and they're not really schooled. So you need to find a CPA that actually understands the advantages and how to utilize them from real estate investing and can advise you thereof. So those are the types of deals we do. Now, I am currently on my 14th project as a general partner. If you add the units together from all the projects that I've done over the years, that's about 2,700 apartment units. And I've also, I believe in apartment investing, and I'm bullish about it, so I also invest passively with other sponsors in their projects because I believe in the vehicle enough that that's where I put my money with other sponsors in their projects. So my wife, Maria, who a lot of you met at the front door, and she greeted you with a beautiful smile, her and I have invested in 17 other projects totaling about 3,500 units. How many people investing in conventional investment vehicles would say that that's a pretty good return? Who would be happy with doubling your money in 3.5 years? And that's real world numbers, my historical returns. One of my regular repeat investors and biggest fans, Wade Sellers, is here. Wade, you've invested with me in a lot of deals, haven't you?
A lot of deals, yeah.
You've been happy with the returns that you've experienced?
I was very happy with that deal I invested in late 2015 in South Dallas.
Yeah, I remember that one. We more than tripled our money in 2.5 years in that
Took the
deal.
words right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I had about 3.5 times my money.
Okay.
I call that 3X now or something.
There you go. And, you know, I'd love it if every deal did that great. That was a super successful deal, but we had several others that were also awesome as well, where we more than doubled our money as well. So those are historical numbers. So I've been doing this a long time. I have a lot of experience. Some of those projects I led and wore all the hats myself. I was the only GP in the deal. As I got further into the business, I saw the opportunity to work with people that I could offload some of the other heavy lifting that I'd been doing and to bring value in different ways, and I partner with people now. In fact, I'm currently, we're in escrow on a current project that I'm doing, and today's guest speaker, Brandon, and also Sean Griffith, who's here in the front row, happen to be co-GPs with us in a deal that we anticipate closing here in September or October that's in the Bedford area, the HEB area there, Hearst, Euless, Bedford. And so we're really excited about that. So anyway, apartment investing has changed my wife, and it's changed our life. Came into this back in 2011. I'd had some success in the past, but I was coming off of a business venture that had not been successful. Had about a net worth of about $400,000 at that time, and have more than 15x'd that and grown it over the years. And I don't say that to brag. I basically say that I came in, I found a mentor, I went to an event like the one I'm offering, I took that knowledge that I was provided and I applied it, and I've applied it diligently, and I've applied it consistently and unwaveringly for 12 years now. And not to say that there haven't been bumps in the road, but I am proud to say that of all those deals, I've never had an investor lose money with me. Not every deal performed at exactly projection, but almost all of them did. Most of them hit or dramatically exceeded, like Wade said, the projection amounts. But I've been in the business a long time. I'm cautious, I'm prudent, I'm conservative with who I partner with. I'm conservative with the projects themselves and the underwriting. I probably could have done 5 times the amount of projects I've done, but I've said no to a lot of partners, and I've said no on a lot of deals because it was never about greed or more is better. It was about doing, and still is about doing, the right deals with the right people. And I think that's why I can stand up here 12 years later, and I didn't come in and out of this business in a year or two and try to hit it real quick and get in and out like I've seen a lot of people do. Apartment investing is going to be the industry I'm going to be in for the rest of my life. When I came in, I saw these older guys that were like 70, 80 years old. They'd acquired 10, 20,000 units over the years. Slow and steady wins the race, and that was kind of what I wanted to be. It wasn't jump from apartment investing today and over here with this vehicle tomorrow. Not to say people can't be diversified in some different things, but my mind works with focus. That's just me. And for me, it's just been apartment investing for 12 years. It's going to continue to be. By the way, everybody should have a card. So if you're interested potentially in beginning to build, if we don't already know each other, that relationship to where I can invest you or offer you opportunities to invest with me in the projects like the ones I've talked about, send me an email. Say you came to this event today, you'd like to begin to get to know me a little bit. And then once we kind of form that area where I can put you into my database where I offer people investment opportunities, then I'll be happy to do that after we make sure we satisfy the requirements of the SEC, which if you're not accredited is really just to get to know each other a little bit and for you to affirm to me that you have, and for me to feel that you have at least a good understanding of the nature of these types of investments. If you go to an event like the one I'm offering, you're going to walk out of there 3 days knowing, certainly being qualified. So anyway, that's a little bit about me. Just kind of spoke from the heart today, didn't really plan anything, but I've done this a few times, so hopefully everybody got some good stuff. And let's go ahead and bring up our guest speaker for today.